This week on Motorhead Garage, Brian and John hook up a multi-purpose hitch and get schooled on torque converters. And later on, we have some fun creating custom engravings with lasers. Next on Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting.
Welcome to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. Trucks today are bigger and stronger and more capable than ever. Machines like this Dodge make a ton of torque, and they're capable of doing a lot of work. Most of the work being done by trucks on the road involves towing. This is the Rhino hitch, and it's probably the best solution we've ever seen come through the shop, not only to attach a trailer to your truck, but also to tow properly and safely. The great thing about the Rhino hitch, not only its construction, which is billet aluminum, or you can go with steel, but this billet aluminum piece is really like artwork, but its adjustability. This baby can adjust 9 inches, a total of 9 inches of swing. Why? Because not all trailers are the same height. Also, if you're going to tow a boat, then maybe a car trailer, if you're going to go out on the weekend with your ATV or your snowmobile, all those things are going to be at different heights. And if you only have a hitch that has a set drop in it, you're going to be towing the thing down the road at a bad angle, it's going to sway, and it's going to get weird. The Rhino hitch solves that problem. John's outside to show us more about the hitch, and we'll talk a little bit more back here in a minute.
Well, Brian said all trailers aren't created equal. We're outside to actually see the Rhino hitch in action. I'm here with Clint. Clint, here we go, man. Tell me about your hitch.
Okay, not always is your trailer level. It should be level, especially if you're towing a car or anything really down the road. So what we got here is, we can see that trailer is not level. So what we want to demonstrate here is the fact that we can adjust this trailer while it's still hooked up to the trailer and safely adjust it.
Now, one of the beautiful things is we started with the trailer up so we can rip the spoiler off the car when we brought it up, especially with a car hauler. That's really nice. And then we can actually just change the level by using the actual hoist here and pick up the trailer and then just adjust it over there on the pins.
Yep. So once it's set, we can get that going. Stand back, see if our trailer is level. Yeah, it's a lot more level now.
Now that's huge when it comes to actual safety. Now when I'm towing down the road, Clint, I'm going down. I mean, height and loading a trailer. I mean, that's it. That's the two keys, safety,
Yep.
Security, and everything else. So tell me about what we're going to get with the tracking and as I'm towing.
So as it's sitting level, it's not able to flip back and forth. So this gives a nice level ride.
What's the towing capacity of them?
The towing capacity on this one, because it is a 2500, it is rated at 14,000 pounds for our 2.5-inch receiver. The 2-inch is rated for 12,000. Our 2-inch steel is rated for 12,500.
Now you mentioned steel, there's different types of hitches.
Yes, so the reason why we went with the aluminum, the body is thicker, it's stronger, it's billet. We've had it tested, it's tested out stronger, or if not stronger than steel.
Well, that was super easy, I'll tell you what. Let's check in with Brian. He's going to show us really the full range of it.
Well, we just saw the Rhino hitch in action in the back of a truck. I wanted to show you the full 9 inches of adjustability you get. Remember, you just simply pull the pin, remove the adjuster pin here, and you can see how much you have up and down. This is traveling in a vertical plane, so nothing is changing as far as the length of the trailer like that, but the height is what's going to get you that nice flat towing surface or help you load as we saw outside. Accessories are also available. The converter ball system. Pull one off, pop this one on there, and you lock the pin in and you're good. Also, infinite rule locking pins are available. And now let's go outside with John.
Now from work to play in a matter of seconds. We got it off the car hauler and we're actually going to hook up this beautiful boat. Now Clint, if I was going to hook up this boat, it's a whole different configuration. I mean, we're talking about the ball size is different, the ride height of riding it's actually different. I may have to get a different truck. I'm probably going to have to get a whole different hitch configuration. Not the case with Rhino hitch, man. Tell us how we're going to do it with this boat.
Well, since we're using the convertible system, it's as easy as pulling the pin, changing it to the other ball size, pulling this pin, adjusting it up where it needs to be, and it's as easy as that.
bam. I think I could have done it maybe 2 more seconds than that, but that was pretty good. 30 seconds. So we got a new ball size. We're ready for the trailer. And the most important thing, we got the height right. Brian showed us the whole adjustability. You kind of have it pre-marked there for where we're at. So now all I need to do is do what? Lower the trailer down.
That's it.
Lower the trailer down, lock it on there. And voila, just like that. I mean, we're riding nice. We're riding at a perfect ride height. Now, I know you got aluminum ones and steel ones. Tell me the difference between them.
As far as capacity goes, there's not a whole lot of difference between the sizes. The 2.5 is the only one we make in the 14,000 pounds, and it's only in aluminum for these bigger trucks.
Now, what amazed me was the weight. I mean, I was curling it. I mean, the misconception maybe it's not as strong. Well, it's way strong, and it's super light. How much does that aluminum one weigh?
It's 22 pounds.
22 pounds versus the steel one. That's huge. Just find them at rhinohitch.com. Now, I got a beautiful rig sitting here. I'm going to go do a little bit of fishing. But you stick around. There's plenty more. Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting, when we come right back.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting, is brought to you by Stow Cargo Systems. Stow your stuff with Stow Cargo Systems. Deny Locks, the first truly effective cooler lock. Borla, the world's most winning exhaust. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. On last week's show, you saw John Gardner hang out with the guys from Monster Transmission, talked a lot about their product line and many of the things they're doing to advance the world of high-performance automatic transmissions. Well, this week we had the fellas from their sister company, Thor Converters, and we're talking about one of the most important parts of your entire driveline, and that, of course, is a torque converter. We have a lot of neat parts on the table, and the two guys standing next to me are Danny and Kelsey. This guy right here, if there is a torque converter Hall of Fame, he'd be in it. Danny, you've been around these things for almost your whole life, and you've been involved in the high performance side of it before a lot of people were. Much of the stuff we see here, you've helped to develop, and I want to know what I'm looking at.
Okay, what you're looking at is, first of all, this is the front cover. It's a billet cover, and we designed this cover because it was needed in the industry. It'll take more power. It's for the popular 4L65 transmission, and it's just a fantastic piece made in America here.
Yeah, a lot of lesser quality converters use a stamped piece of steel, and that can deflect and balloon and move all over the place. That is not going anywhere.
No, this has integrity. It's made out of a billet, CNC machined, and it enhances the durability of the converter. It's a major piece.
And in terms of construction, talk to me about some of the most kind of visible elements here. It looks what furnace brazing, of course, is a big deal, right?
Furnace brazing. All of our converters, high performance converters, are furnace brazed. The pump and the turbine. And in higher horsepower applications, they're brazed by hand on the critical areas.
Kelsey, we're also talking about stuff like hardened hubs. I mean, really front to back, you guys have gone above and beyond on the material side.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, everything that we've displayed here for you today is made in America. It's all billet, solid equipment here.
You know, Danny, gearheads like to talk in stall speed. So do you guys offer stuff from a more mild application to something more heavy duty?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have a broad range of stall speeds for this particular converter. 14 to 16, 16 to 18, 18 to 2000, and above. We can actually make the VJ converter, which is this application, up to 25, 26, maybe even more if you're making enough power.
So that's for a dude who's got a pretty hairy little engine in his car and wants to go out there and make some noise on a Saturday night.
Oh, yeah, this will spool right up. I mean, it's a durable converter also.
You know, let's look at some of the components we have here, because I don't think a lot of our viewers and people in general understand how a torque converter works. I know we got a stator here, we got a pump. Talk to me about what we're looking at.
Well, the pump is the primary, turns with engine RPM and directs the fluid through the stator, and it drives the turbine. And it's a one-way clutch, actually, and it's a 3-element converter, and combined with the converter clutch, it's a lockup. So it's 4 elements.
4 elements. Now, 4 elements, and we're going to talk about 3 clicks right now, Kelsey, because installing a torque converter is a fairly straightforward operation, but screwing it up is going to lead to a quick end to your trans. So walk me through the installation.
Absolutely. The worst thing you can do is stack that pump. The first thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and make sure that everything's properly lubricated. Add a quart of your burn rubber brewery transmission fluid to this torque converter. Make sure everything's primed with transmission fluid. Then you're going to install your hub Into your transmission here, you'll hear your first click. That's your input shaft falling into place. Your second click will be your stator shaft falling into place. And then your third click, that's going to be your pump gear sliding into the grooves here for you.
So that's a nice kind of close-up installation. I'm going to give you a little fluid here so we can show that you'd add fluid to the front. This is, of course, the Burn Rubber Brewing Company Universal Synthetic Cider, which is the greatest named transmission fluid in the history of mankind.
Absolutely.
One of the things that people should know too, these converters are all electronically balanced when they're built, so you're getting a very quality piece that's gone through quality control checks and is coming to you ready to install. Part of the process is adding some fluid, which is Kelsey's handling right now, and then he's going to give you a look at what this should look like when it's properly seated.
This is actually added fluid on a balancer also. We put fluid in on every converter we balance.
As part of the balancing process.
That's part of our quality control. Every single converter goes through the balancer.
Load us up, Kelsey. So again, if we're kind of listening, there sounds like one little rotation. Converter's going to kind of step its way in there. People need to understand you can't even get your fingers in there.
Oh, absolutely. Once this converter is fully installed, you cannot get your fingers in here. That lets you know that it is truly installed correctly, as well as you want to take a look at the back spacing of your converter to your bell housing itself.
Yeah, if it's even, it's not all the way in. If it's recessed in there, you're in good shape. Fellas, where do we go on the internet to learn more about Thor converters?
You can learn more about Thor converters at thorconverters.com, and you can learn more about Burn Rubber Brewery at burnrubberbrewery.com.
And everybody needs to learn more about Burn Rubber Brewery. What the greatest name of all time. We'll be back with more Motorhead Garage presented by Dustless Blasting right after this. Deanie and I are going drag racing.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. You know, back in the day, a UTV was a thing that a farmer might have used to run hay around to feed the cows or maybe perform chores on the farm. Today, these things actually run the Baja 1000 with talented race drivers behind the wheel. I have Kenny from KT Performance here, and if you watched last episode, you remember we had a Polaris Razor in the studio. Today, we have moved over to the Can-Am Maverick X3, but double back on the Polaris for a minute before we get into this hot rod.
Yeah, the Polaris was definitely a really nice ride. That was my personal vehicle. So as a four-seater, I ride around with the family, load the kids up, and hit the trails. So one of the guys who works for us, he's more in, he wants a little more wide open fun. So he wants that high speed. So this is actually his Can-Am here. So we've done a little bit of work on it, and real excited about the vehicle we put together.
Even from the factory, this thing's pretty crazy. From the factory, it'll go almost 90 miles an hour. It makes 170 horsepower with a turbocharged 1000cc engine. But you guys have gone steps beyond that. So if we start from the back and move toward the front, talk to me what's going on right around the motor first.
Yeah, we've got that nice Gibson exhaust on this. Gibson exhaust not only is going to make it sound a lot better, it's going to add a little more horsepower and torque to it at the same time. So you add that custom, everybody knows that you're coming to the woods because it sounds great riding through there.
And as far as getting the air to that turbocharger we mentioned, you got the S&B particle separator on here, and this is a neat system. It's fairly new, and really what you're doing there is you're protecting the motor and you're actually getting some more air cleaner life, right?
Absolutely. So you're getting definitely a lot longer air filters lasting because you're getting all those big particles out of there, being separated long before they ever hit the filter. And then also with the almost type of a scoop type design, with it being up there nice and high, when you're wide open hitting the trails with this thing as fast as it goes, it's ramming that much more air into the intake.
That's perfect. And again, more horsepower, and I know between all this stuff, the horsepower is well beyond what that factory 170 rating is. As far as the looks department goes, the whip lights are really trick, and show me the neatest feature about these things. You can kind of tune them with a touch of a button.
Yeah, you can kind of adjust the speed up. You can change the intensity, so you can slow them down, speed them up. If you just want a solid color, you can change different colors, different things in there. A lot of different flash patterns and stuff in there. So whatever your heart desires, whatever your style is, you can hit it up with a different type of deal.
So my understanding is factory, this thing would have had about 14 inches of ground clearance. You have Fox shocks on this deal, which are crazy, big long travel coilovers, and a 32-inch set of tires on it. And even the tires are interesting because those are not a light truck tire. They're a dedicated UTV tire, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So a little more aggressive than you're going to find with the light truck tires. Nice wheels on this thing. So not only is it fast, it rides good, it looks good going down the trail.
Pop the door, man. Show me what the neatest kind of surprise inside is.
Yeah, so Apex has these really nice bags for us here. So nice padded for the knee again. Big thing, you out there in the trail. Sometimes it gets a little rough. Might be a tree in the way, something. So you got to have that protection. Got some nice storage pockets here, whether it's your phone or whatever. Another storage pocket in here. The nice water-resistant zipper on there.
Nothing's falling out. The bags are well secured to the door, and the driver and passenger is secure too. You get 5-point harnesses in this thing, which, again, if you're going to be ripping 90 mile an hour through the woods, that's probably a pretty good idea.
Absolutely.
Up front, there's a custom bumper there, but I think what's even more interesting is what's sitting behind the bumper, which seems like a really small winch, but we were talking, and it's more than that.
Yeah, the Warren 4500 SI winch, so it's the same weight rating as their larger 4500 for the UTV market, but it's on a little smaller platform. So you're using a little smaller diameter rope, but it's still got the same capacity, that 4500.
KT Performance has been around for a while. You guys are well known for having a huge line of parts for full-size trucks. You guys are like diesel specialists. You got a big event that you run every year down in Florida, the Diesels in the Swamp event. So talk to me about, are the customers the same that are getting involved in UTVs, or is it a totally different market?
A lot of them are the same. So the whole reason we really did a big push into this market, a lot of our guys are diesel truck guys, and now they didn't want to tear their diesel truck up every weekend riding through the woods. So they've gone out and they've bought their UTVs and their four-wheelers, and they've wanted us to be able to supply them with the parts. So they're able to go to the same place they've trusted for years for their truck parts, and now they can fix their toy on the weekend when they want to go out there and hit the trails.
And it really is, even though the vehicles are smaller and lighter, it's all about horsepower, it's all about capability, and it's all about, as we saw inside with the bags, it's all about usability.
Absolutely.
Where do we find you on the web?
ktperformance.net.
ktperformance.net. Whether you got an F350 you want to upgrade the turbo on, or whether you got a Can-Am Maverick X3 that you want to bump more horsepower, more suspension travel, or simply fly over the jumps, these are the guys to talk to. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage right after this.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting, is brought to you by Stage 8 Fasteners, home of the world's best locking hitter bolt. For more information, go to stage8.com. PREFIX Corporation, excellence is expected. Quick Latch, quality hood pins and push-button fasteners. And by Thread Wizard, the world's fastest bolt cleaner.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. Well, if you've seen Motorhead Garage any, the name AP Laser is pretty familiar, but it never ceases to amaze me, the AP Laser's ability to cut on different surfaces and grave into them. Also, the ability to take an ordinary item and make it extraordinary. It's really cool. Check it out. Items like a toolbox right here. I mean, you got a stool for a shop, personally engraved. Woodwork you can hang on your wall, signs, emblems. How about a car mat customized with either the logo of your car or whatever you want on it? You got some cookware, and then we took an everyday hammer engraved in it, and guess what? You got a priceless memento. You got a floor mat right here. As a matter of fact, Brian's over there right now at the AP Laser, and we want to show you something unique that you've never seen before.
Well, John's right. We're going to show you something here with the AP Laser that you've never seen before. And Tony, we actually set this up, but it was very easy to set up what is now known as the rotary table.
That's right, Brian. We took a larger object like the stool that was in there. We just removed it. We rolled the Z table underneath, connected the power, and then from there the power controls on the front of the laser allow us to adjust it for height. And then we inserted the rotary device and lined it up, and now we're ready to laser. So we've got the laser running on a powder-coated stainless steel mug right now.
Yeah, and the reality is the rotary table is genius because we're talking wine bottles, we're talking champagne flutes, we're talking all the kind of neat stuff that you can personalize. I'm sure there's even a million more ideas that I can't even come up with in my head, but this is a new one for us. You guys have had this device available for a while, but we've never seen it before. It's very neat.
Correct, Brian. It's part of our turnkey package. So you get all the accessories with it, including the rotary attachment, the table, 24/7 tech support, laptop, software, everything's ready to rock and roll.
You know, we talk about the AP Laser as a business opportunity, but the reason it's a great business opportunity is because the products you can create. You know, we talk about these big brands around the world. Why do people want certain things? Well, because it's an aspirational thing. You aspire to own it, makes you feel good to have it. What's better than owning stuff with your own personal brand on it, right? Your name, your company's name, your team. That's why this is such a great deal.
That's right, we call that priceless profit. That's when you take an emotion or something intangible and put it on a tangible object. So there's large motorcycle companies or soft drink companies. They're not selling you a product. They're selling you an emotion, a dream, or or happiness.
Sure.
You know, they're not actually selling you their physical product.
Yeah, and the opportunities with the AP laser unit are pretty much endless. We've seen the insane variety of things that it'll work on, from backpacks, and now we know obviously metallic objects, glass, you name it, it'll do it. And so that also frees up the person who has this unit to be as creative as they could possibly be.
Absolutely. The learning curve is just in the software. Once you get that, our team's actually going to help you out with our 24/7 tech support and our online AP Laser University.
I think one of the things people really need to know about the AP laser unit is the fact that you don't need to be a computer genius to operate this. As you mentioned, it's a turnkey package that does come with some training, I understand.
Yes. Anything 80 watts and larger, we're actually going to send one of our technicians to your location to train you and your team on your laser.
It's an amazing thing. We've had families in here and their kids within a couple of days come up with some of the most creative and amazing designs that anybody's ever produced off of these. Proof positive that it's a great addition to any company. If you're already in a business where you're creating garments or you're creating personalized items, embroidering, this is a great way to expand your business and really grow it.
That's right. Because you've already got the overhead covered. You would already have a design team in-house. You'd already have a customer base. It's just adding one printer that can print on any object.
Really is an amazing opportunity, not only to grow an existing business, but perhaps start a new venture. And the way you can do it, as you said, create these priceless objects that people will have one-off, and it gets right to what people want, that great feeling inside.
Absolutely.
All right, Tony, that beeping sound means the job is over, and that, of course, means that John Gardner showed up, because that's his move. Job's over, Gardner shows up.
Well, guys, what's the masterpiece? What did you guys produce?
It's an awesome insulated style mug. The only downside of it is it's not your name or my name on it, it's our boss's name on it, but maybe that'll keep him happy for 5 minutes around here.
Yeah, that's important, right? It's important to keep the boss happy, and it's amazing that that AP laser actually engraved on this cup. I mean, this is huge.
Sorry, guys.
Uh-oh.
Hey!
Holy mackerel.
All right, see, this is good. Tony has officially redeemed himself. I thought you were trying to suck up to the boss. This is fantastic, man. The detail on this thing, awesome. And it's personalized, so no one's running away with it.
I also found a couple of quotes from you guys.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. This is awesome. Cut on there, no problem, like you said. No heat, no nothing. I mean, look at the clarity of that. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, I'm going to take my mug, go fill it up, and show it off to everybody I know. Tony, this is incredible.
John's cup has, you know, the college fight song on it. Mine says, if anybody waves $3 in front of my face, I'll figure out a way to snatch it. So you know me too well, sir.
Well, I got the coolest product in the world. If you have a cool product you want to get on to Motorhead Garage, just email Jeff at masterstv.com. Well, we're out of time for today, you guys. This has been awesome. But join us next week for more Motorhead Garage presented by Dustless Blasting.